We are back again. How's everyone feeling? How are you, Martina? How are you, Than?
Doing great.
Fine.
Yeah? Ready for the topic for today? I think this is an interesting one. Should keep us moving.
I think it's very interesting because we are kind of similar on
Yeah.
some things, but we are also very, very different. And I think this topic will show this.
Yes, I'm just really curious about learning because this topic is really one that I'm not so good at.
So she says, like,
Not too good
audience,
at.
you have to keep us honest at the end and tell us if it's actually the truth.
Yeah.
So, what we are talking about today is about how do we get inspired? How do we find motivation? How do we use it to get out of rut? What does all those things mean to us? What do we do? What's our process? Those kind of things. And I can't wait to get started. And this is Three Girls.
One mic.
And still no banana ice cream. So we have to do something about this.
And I'm Ankita.
I'm Martina.
Tan.
Perfect.
Hello,
Let's get
everyone.
started. Hello. Okay, inspiration and motivation. How do you guys define it? Is there a difference between the two for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So much I can say. It is. Because motivation is already like, I don't know, there's a part of me that's like already I need to get motivated, but inspiration is like coming spontaneously. So there's already something different for me. Just about how I like the word.
Inspiration, I think, comes from the inside because when you are inspired by something, you really want to do it because you have like no other choice of doing it. And as Tan said, it really comes spontaneously sometimes. And motivation for me is more an outside thing. So you can be like, yeah, all this, when you think of these motivational speeches and videos and stuff like this, it also is helpful sometimes when you hear someone tell you that you are powerful, you are strong, you can do it, you whatever. But the inspiration lasts longer and makes me kind of do more or give more because I really, really want to do something or to accomplish something or to start something, whatever.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
I think for me, inspiration is more of a response. Like something happens that makes me feel inspired. Like it's not just like I'm sitting and I'll get inspired. It is a response that comes for something that's outside of me. It's much more, it doesn't have to be like from my environment. It doesn't even have to be from a person. It does come from inside. And like Martina said, it's much longer lasting than not. Motivation can sometimes be, okay, I wake up this morning and I feel motivated to do something, and then it just fades when I actually start doing it, and I need somebody to build it up in me. Inspire is more like a fire, and motivation is more like a spark for me that ignites something further, and but it requires something more to be sustained. Inspiration can like go up and down, it can become dull, but it won't really fade away.
Yeah.
It stays
Yeah.
for much longer for me
Yeah.
because
True.
it has a it has a deeper resonance within me, which is why I was inspired about something. It actually impacts my values in a lot of ways as well. Sometimes when I'm thinking about inspirations, it sometimes can even change my belief systems and things that I value and stuff like that. Like it just creates so many possibilities in comparison. And motivation just seems so fading sometimes. It is so important. Like if I'm not motivated, in all probability I will not do anything. But if it's not there, and like when you're in the rut with that kind of thing, motivation doesn't do much when I'm in the rut. Inspiration does much more for me, but sometimes motivation leads to the inspiration as well. So it's like a building block. That's kind of how I think about it sometimes. Like motivation on itself is not enough for me. I need more.
No, it is not, right? Because about motivation, I often think about, okay, is it really motivation or am I just disciplined? So I'm
Yeah.
just kind of forcing
Yeah.
myself. And inspiration is just like not forcing myself, right? It's just coming and I just want to do it. But with motivation, yeah, sometimes I just, and when motivation comes from outside, like motivational speeches, yeah, like Martina said, sometimes it's not working with me at all. Sometimes it's
It's
just like,
you
okay,
keep
I
talking.
get it. Yeah, and sometimes I really just like, yeah, just talk. It's
I
not
don't
working
believe
at
you.
all. And I cannot even say why, but yeah, it's just like, so sometimes really asking myself, is it just pure discipline? And like, because I know people, well, just need me and rely on me, so I just do something,
Yeah.
or is it
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
because I feel motivated?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why this is a kind of difficult topic for me. Because as long as I'm like in a good mood, and I mean, I try to do something that's bringing me joy, then yeah, so I
Yeah.
kind of feel better. So then maybe I feel more inspired to do something. But
I
yeah, it's
also feel
hard.
like inspiration is something that gets triggered in you even if you don't want it to.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
in all probability, you get inspired when you're not really looking for it. And
Yes.
then you have to sit still and recognize the fact that you are inspired. Even if you weren't like if you're not ready for it, or
Yeah.
it's like aha moment kind of just comes up for me.
Yeah. And you
That's when I
just have
feel
to start.
inspired. Say that
It's
again,
sometimes
Martina.
means like I have to start. I have to do it now, at least a little. Although if I don't have time, I have to do it. I have to do it. And motivation is also like cleaning my house. It's like I'm not inspired to clean it.
No,
But
right?
sometimes I'm motivated to clean it because I don't like how it looks at the moment.
Yeah, I can be inspired to record a video and hence I need to clean the house or change the setting, basically.
Yeah, good. Okay.
That's why I'm going out to record more.
But I think, well, but work, it's often really, I don't think I'm really motivated, but it's just like discipline. And with other, I mean, okay, if we take dance training, it was clearly something that is exhausting at some point, and it's well, you have to train, right? And you have to practice.
Yeah.
But there I was kind of feeling more inspired and motivated to really do it. And because there was something inside of me that wanted to do it. And with work, I think it's clearly discipline, it's not motivation. Although I know, I mean,
But I think there's a codependency between motivation and discipline. It's codependent. It's like sometimes like motivation gets you, or you need motivation to come into
Yeah.
a discipline, and the other way around. It's like
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I mean, when I'm at work, I mean, I also like doing what I do. It's like, I don't like it at all, but still, like waking up in the morning and you gotta go
Yeah,
to
but
work
you
now.
don't love it every day. I think that's a difference. Or you like what you do, and you sometimes love what you do, but you don't love it every day or every
Yeah.
minute of the day usually. So there are days which are wonderful and amazing, but there are also days where you like especially when you have lots of things to do, when you have pressure, like you need to get something done, you need to get it finished, and you are like have like 70 other things which you also should get to, and yeah, sometimes feels like it.
Yes,
70
sometimes you're
other
like
things
always
that you
being
need to get
behind
to,
my
Martina.
own schedule.
Yeah. I I I am not somebody who can stay disciplined for too long. Not a label that I'm putting on myself, but I need variety. Like even in my discipline and routine, I need variety. But I recognize how important it is and how much better it makes me feel. So having motivation as a part of that sometimes is more helpful. Still waiting for the inspiration to take it deeper. But the thing with, I think motivation can get me farther in shorter period of time. Like the intensity of motivation can get me to do more things in like an instant of time. Inspiration is more long lasting, like it comes and goes and stuff like that. Uh, but when I'm in a rut, I think motivation helps me a little bit more than inspiration, because it's generally when I'm in a rut, when I'm not like I'm actually very comfortable being in a rut as well, but it does need to be gotten out of it. Some things need to shake when you have to get out of it sometimes as well, right? And you're feeling like you need to get out of it and you should do something. And those kind of things, motivation helps me more, which eventually leads me to an inspiration that gets me out of it. Like it's the step by step cycle in some ways that gets me there. And that's why I think both of them are really important for me. When I am in a rut, I also just allow myself to be an absolute couch potato who's not doing anything and who's just resting in her own maybe toxic way, binging on my Korean dramas and not really keeping to a sleep schedule or eating and like not realizing when sun is up or down and stuff like that. Not the most healthiest, but it's the most effective.
I mean, sometimes maybe it's just a psychological need, and
Yes, yeah.
it just needs to be served as well, right? And I mean,
Yeah.
we need our rest times. So we just need to acknowledge this as well, yeah? Just like
Yeah.
sitting around and just doing nothing.
Yeah.
That is really
Sometimes it's
helpful.
necessary. Sometimes it's absolutely necessary. And
Yeah.
then you need to do it. I think the same. So I don't get my sleep schedule mixed up like crazy because I can't have it. But
But
also
that's
the,
because you can't have it, right? Like,
yeah, that's why I'm not doing it.
yeah,
It's a decision you make, or
exactly.
it's a decision I make because I know it's not gonna work for me. But it's okay. There are some days where you like hanging around on the sofa watching Netflix all day long, and then when you have the most time to cook something healthy for you, then you don't do it because
It's quick.
this takes so much time.
Because it also
but
makes you feel empty. Like it empties out what's inside you so that you can fill it with something new, right?
But with cooking, it's true because I mean, yeah, sometimes this, when I have guests, I like to really cook up, yeah, and just do anything for them and just like nurture them. And then like cooking for myself, sometimes I just like, just do something quick. Though I know I should be eating better stuff, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, then it's a lack of motivation. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do we always do more for our guests than we do for ourselves? Why is this?
Self-love.
Yeah, it's crazy actually.
It's crazy, right? Or, I
Yeah.
mean, because guests, you don't have them every day. So sometimes, I don't
That's
know.
true. You feel like, oh, it's just
Yeah.
for a few days or something.
I
Yeah,
can
and
handle
then
it. I can
you
stay
disappear.
motivated for a few days.
And then be dead for the next 3 days after they've left. Be like, I have no energy.
But what sometimes happens to me, I don't know if you can relate to it. It's sometimes I feel so motivated while I'm like somewhere outside, and I think when I get home, I do this, and then I get home and I'm like, no, I don't do anything.
Absolutely know this. It's so true.
For me, it's also like if I sit down, I'm like, maybe I'll rest for 2 seconds. I'm in a frenzy of doing things, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just sit down for 2 seconds. And then I just don't get
Yeah,
So
don't
you
yeah,
sit
just get it done.
yeah, yeah. Really, it's crazy.
Stacking
Yeah.
things one over the other is like the best way to get everything done. Like right now, my house really needs organization because every place I look is like stuff that I left because I was working, like I had to physically leave the house almost every day for work, and that's not my preference because it really unsettles me out of my routine that I like, the one routine that I like of not being out of the house every day. And now to get this all done, I'll have to just stack it one over the other. Like if I'm taking this to that place, needs to get done in that place will then get done from there to someplace else, to there to someplace else, to finally in my bed and just asleep. Done.
Yeah, but what about morning routines? I mean, do they help you? I'm not really having one. So I'm just like sleeping, getting up, go to work. Oops.
Yeah, but you have to get up really early. It's easier to have a
Yeah,
morning routine if you have more time in the mornings. So
Exactly.
when I
yeah,
have to get up very early, I also don't have like a real morning routine. It's
yeah,
All
because
like
bets are off then.
I really
Yeah.
just sleep as long as I can.
yeah, Yeah, I know this. Did it
That's your routine.
most of my life.
Like so, yeah. Because normally I get up at 6.
Yeah,
I
and
So
have
then
an alarm for 5:55 every day, and I actually leave my bed like some 3 hours later. So,
now it's
but
really
but I have like a meditation on in between, like sometimes two. So I'm like I'm in and out between those zones. But on a perfect day, my morning routine, like that's the one thing I really hold stable for myself. Like I have to start my day with some warm lemon water, eat my like seeds and stuff, get some nuts into my body, and like all of this in preparation for my morning coffee, which I really love and adore. I like look forward to breakfast. I like to do pretty things with my breakfast if I can. Uh, but like that's the one thing that's very important for me. And if I have enough time, I know it just should be more priority, but I like to stretch and do some morning exercises if I can. If I can, I should be, but I don't.
that's
But
very
my morning routine, like what I'm doing, the elements on it can keep changing. So like which kind of tea I'm having, which kind of thing I'm having to detoxify my body. But I always have something. Like my one rule you girls already know is not to have coffee on empty stomach. That's the only rule I've stuck to forever in my life, or bed since I decided the rule. But I do feel like if I can have that time in the morning, carve it out for myself,
mm,
that's motivation for me from myself, and that just sets me up for me to have whatever kind, like anything happens after that, I'm okay. So like intentionally carving out time to be able to do that has generally worked for me. Even if I have to go like really early, I'll try to do that. But if I'm really rushed in the morning, which is often the case, like life happens, then I just know everything ends up being the rushed day, and
yeah,
then you just
yeah. It's the
it's
same.
all a blur, and I can't really be present almost throughout the day there. Then I really need to find like a space to be able to ground and be around nature someplace in the day where I can recalibrate myself to be somewhat normal.
I
And
mean,
then I have like morning routines, and then I have like my end of day routines as well. But yeah, what were you saying, Tan?
maybe I should get back to my morning meditation. But this was also about like getting up even earlier.
yeah, I
You can
totally
just have
understand.
it on while you're sleeping.
Yeah,
Meditation
I
does
was.
what it needs to
I mean, there was a time when I was really always doing like half an hour morning meditation, but then I had to get up at 5:30, and sometimes I just fell asleep during.
which is fine. I feel like sleeping during meditation at the start is completely fine.
Yeah,
And there are days when there are days.
But it was a nice way to start the day. I mean, I did it for a whole month, but then I was like, okay, you need sleep.
But you really do need sleep. I think Martina and I completely agree on
yeah.
that. You need to
Totally agree
sleep.
that you need sleep. I could never survive on the hours you sleep. I could not survive, and my brain does not work then. It's like then like I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just maybe it's just the way we were trained.
Yeah, it does matter, right? Like it's all a part, like everything is a skill and everything can be trained.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even being
yeah.
able to sleep or your morning routines and stuff like that. The way it would work is if it's an instantaneous response from your body rather than something you have to make happen,
Yeah,
right?
because even now when I like try to go to bed earlier, it's like really after 6 hours I just wake up. And
Really?
yes. I just wake up and then it's like just sleep, please sleep.
You really have to go to bed
I
on time.
Went to
I
bed
had
earlier so you can sleep, so just please sleep now.
But I had it like kind of the same situation several years ago. I really thought, or I did not even think, I was sure when once I wake up in the morning and it's like 5 or 6 a.m. already, then I can't sleep anymore. And it happened really like this.
Yeah.
Whenever I woke up, I could not sleep anymore. And then I thought, why am I so crazy? And programming myself like this. So then I was like, no, you will be able to sleep. You can sleep whenever you wake up. Now it's like I wake up at 7. Oh, I can sleep 1 hour. Perfect. I can sleep more.
I allow myself. On your third eye, you tap and say, I allow myself to sleep. I
Yeah,
allow myself to sleep. And
it's
you
kind
just
of
go back to sleep.
yourself like this. And I
Exactly,
also
yeah.
know when I have to get up at 6, I wake up 5 minutes before 6. without
Yeah.
any alarm clock, because like my body like kind of you can do it. It's possible, but you have to do it the right way. Yeah, no mistakes here.
Yeah.
Sometimes my body's just like, then suddenly I sleep. Well, if I know I can just sleep in, then my body's just sleeping like 10 hours. Yeah, because it's just like,
Of course.
trying to get back
Yeah. Yeah,
to
of
sleep.
course.
But during the week, no. Normally I
Yeah.
just wake up after 6 hours of sleep. And it's,
So,
but I don't mean I just wake up, but I'm still tired, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah.
but I just wake up and it's just like, okay, you have to go to work. Come on, get up. Like, and then I
Yeah.
really try something like, look, maybe it's sunny if it's ever sunny in Berlin. Like, be grateful.
Sunny
It's
in
a
Berlin.
sunny day. Get up, be grateful.
I have all of these, so I have alarms at different times that go up, and you've seen my BTS alarm clock, right? I have that playing first thing for me, listening their voices in the morning. Then I have all of these motivational or songs that will just wake me up, kind of like I'm a star and stuff like that happening. Like I need my motivation in the morning to get out of the bed. That's the one thing that I really need, it to crawl out of my bed, especially on the days when I'm like, well, most days when I'm like, can I not just sleep in instead? Please, can I please just sleep? When I have to leave my house, like, the negotiations that are happening in my brain at that time. Okay, if I skip this, then I can sleep 5 more minutes. You just wasted the time in negotiating rather than neither did you get the sleep nor did you actually get up. So you're also late and tired both at the same time. Yeah, that's fun. But how do you guys, what are your senses of getting out of rut? What do you do? What does a rut even mean to you, actually? Have you had a rut ever in your life?
I
I'm
think I have
just
many ruts in my life. I mean, it's just like very often, really. I guess any time when I just, like waking up and just having to fight to get up, I already feeling like being in a rut. And this happens so often. Like this, go to work now. And that's why I'm saying, hey, I have to learn what you guys are doing because it's really hard for me at that moment. And I'm just like, spending like minutes there in bed and like, okay, you just have to because you will be late otherwise. And then I just somehow get up and somehow try to eat something and just get out. But it's like a fight so
Yeah.
often. So
Yeah, I think it's really important to have certain routines, not only in the morning, also during the day. So what I do also, like in the morning, I also like to have some time and do a meditation, and also I prepare my lemon water and tea and stuff like this. But also during the day, so I very often I start working then in the morning, and then during the day when possible, and it's possible now, luckily, I do some sports like in the middle of the day somewhere, because like when I've done some work and then I kind of feel like exhausted or demotivated or whatever, then it really helps me to be physically active again, and then I get back to the next work like in the afternoon, and then I usually like have a break somewhere in the afternoon because I need to eat. I need to eat. And this helps me to have like, sometimes it's not always like exactly, I don't know, 11 a.m. or noon or 3 p.m. or whenever. So it's totally depends what I have to do and which appointments I have during the day. But it really helps me also to stay motivated because it gives me the energy. I get the energy back, and it's much easier for me to be on different places. So when I do sports, I either go to the indoor swimming pool or I go for a run outside or
Yeah.
something like this, or I meet a friend for lunch, whatever. And it helps me to like get away from work and then get back to work again.
you guys are saying I have to change my work.
No, it's like it's really helpful. Although it's like you can imagine when have lunch with a friend that I'm not the most motivated to get back and do some more work, or when we have a class or something like this. But I'm like the person, I just do it. I don't think too much. I just do it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
do it. And it's very often it's about getting started.
it
So
really
it's
is. Yeah.
like when I think, oh God, I need to edit the video or two, and it takes me 3 hours, and I'm really not motivated to do it 3 hours. Then I think I just start and I do some basic stuff. Then I just start, and once I have started, I very often then finish it, or
Yeah.
I do it for like 2 hours, because then once you start, it's just really, for me, it's about getting started, having the energy, the motivation to get started.
Well, yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, because
That's
when I
very true.
start something, I have to finish it. It's not
Yeah.
like I cannot just like do half and just like do the rest later. But
Yeah.
that's me sometimes ending up exactly that's why I'm ending up like working till 2 a.m. in the morning.
Mhm.
You know, like I have to get this done now.
Yeah, that's not me. I think, oh God, no, my brain is not working anymore. I'm going to sleep now. I'll do the rest tomorrow.
But like half the miracles of the life happen when it's like I have to get this done now, right?
Well, yeah, in
Somehow.
24-hour shifts, you have to be there anyway. So,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It doesn't make it easier. It also makes it hard on you, but things get done, which is
Yeah,
good.
and it's necessary sometimes. So
It
you
is, it
cannot
is.
always wait for the motivation or for some inspiration to come to you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to get things done. It's
yeah.
nice to
Yeah,
be
and
inspired, it's
my
nice to be
tendency,
motivated, but it's not always happening.
So still part of discipline, right?
yeah,
Yeah, you have to be. So I think it's like a codependency or something like this. You have to do it. Yeah. And I'm basically, I don't know if you know me that good already, but I'm always ahead of time. Like,
yeah.
so when I have
Yeah.
to post a video on
You are
Sunday,
ahead of
it's
time.
actually
Han is
done
on
at
time.
least
I'm
a week
always late.
before. At least a week before, because the way you sometimes do it, like in the evening. Oh, now I have to edit my video. And oh God.
Yeah, actually, but
Not
this is because actually I feel way more comfortable when I do it the way Martina's doing it. That's actually me also. I like to have things done at least a week or 2 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm just not keeping up with my schedule. It's just like,
I
but
would love that too, but I just know it's never going to happen with me. So I give myself that grace.
Yeah, you have to. It's okay.
Exactly. Like so many times I get done with the videos that I need to upload like 20 minutes before the uploads
Yeah.
and stuff as well. But hey, at least I got done.
And what I also come to, but I think it's part of my upbringing and part of the Austrian mentality, that you work before you play. So I
yeah,
was
that's German
like,
as well.
when I came home from school, and I did not want to do like sports or playing before I did my homework, because I wanted to get it done already when I was very young. So I don't know if it's just me, but it's really, and I have the same feeling now. So I don't watch Netflix or do something else before I don't have my work done, which I have planned for today. I can't do it. I still can't do it. I can't
Same.
sit there. It's like it's not possible for me. Like,
How are you guys, my friends? How?
I'm thinking,
Like, what's happening
like
here?
now, is it a German thing as well, or am I just like this? But
I think
actually,
it's
yes.
a
No, maybe you just grew up differently because I think Austria and Germany are kind of similar at this point. And we just said you need to get this done before you do whatever you like to do as a
How
free
did I?
time hobby.
I feel like, so even though if you ask my siblings versus if you ask me, like up in the same house, my experience has just been different, I feel, because I just do whatever I want. And if you force me to do something else, I just can't do it. So like it will not happen. So like I don't even remember actually doing homework ever. I feel like I don't how did I clear? I was not a very good student, like, like for a very
Oh,
long time, I was not a very good student. So Than will hate me for that. When I was
all
like, oh,
right. I was the type of student, well, at least at the younger stages, I already managed to do my homework at school, like in the breaks. But
I think I copied in the break, so equivalent. Actually, doing the homework never helped me feel prepared about the subjects and stuff. So for me,
ah,
that really happens like in one go. I take all the knowledge in one go and then I keep processing it. So my best ways to studies are generally either I've studied it in the lecture itself when the person was teaching it to me. And if I couldn't understand it then, or if I was not able to pay my absolute attention then I'll just study before the exam to vomit it into the exam and then leave it. Like if it's one of those things that don't really matter to me and I was not inspired to learn or something like that, that's when I will do that. Yeah.
I don't know. With homework, it was just like somehow I was the type of kid where I just you just need to do it,
Yeah.
okay, and just
Yeah.
do it, and then okay.
Necessary. They want you to
Yeah,
do it.
That stuff is missing in me. You just
And
need
my
to.
motivation was to get it done as fast as possible.
yeah. Get it done.
Right
Fast
setting to
enough,
do
so
it.
you can do whatever you want to do afterwards.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Maybe that works. Yeah. For me, I'm like, let me do what I want till I get bored, and then maybe I'll do what needs to get done.
Because actually, the thing
Maybe.
was, when I knew I still had to do something, I couldn't really enjoy what I wanted to do in my free time. And so I was just
That's
like,
not a
okay,
problem.
get it done, so it's done. And then
Yeah,
you just have time.
it's still the same. So if
Yeah.
something is really under time pressure, then it's
Yes.
like I can't do anything else. It's like the black cloud here, and it's like
Yes.
I don't know. No, I need to get it done first, and then
Yeah.
I can enjoy what I want, whatever I want to do. I can
Yeah,
relax
that's why
and
I
That's what
enjoy.
say I'd be
executive
more
dysfunction.
comfortable to do it your way, actually, but sometimes now I'm just behind my schedule. So. But I do feel a lot better when I have things done and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's taking up space in the mind,
Yes,
in the brain. I
yes,
think
because
it's
otherwise
really
it's
taking
still
up
there.
space.
It's still in your
I-
mind. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's still like, oh, you still need to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And just like going on from day to day to day and having it there.
I feel like even if I do the thing, it doesn't really go away because there's so much to always do. So there's always, my brain is always there's always 100 things to do, no matter how many you get done. So there's always that pressure. If it's not this, then it's that. If it's not this, then it's that.
So
So just
you're
do what
used
you
to the
want.
pressure.
There's a constant pressure that's always there, and which becomes a blur, and hence there is no pressure. So you're like, do whichever, whenever, whatever. I think it's part of executive dysfunction. And I feel like I'm different at work. At work, I need to do what needs to be done, and it's generally at other people's pace as well. So that mentality of just get it over with can take place. But there also, I'm like more into perfection sometimes, and that causes a problem because I want it to be a certain kind of way and I want to do it more rather than just complete it. I'm now becoming a little bit more about letting it be the way it is because I get the opportunity to delegate more, so you can do a little bit more then. But yeah, like I understand what you guys are saying, and it would be a nice place to be if I could do it. But I just feel like I'm not. I'd really. This is an inspiration for me to see what you guys are doing. I'm like, maybe I can try this. And it's not like I've not tried it before. My thing is energy management. And if I don't have the energy to do something, my brain will just not respond. Like, can't even come up with the words to speak if I'm, or say, or like, it's an effort to even breathe if it's too much that time.
But
So,
you're right, it's different. It's different what you have to do. So it's different,
yeah.
but you can always do some basic stuff where you don't have to
Yeah.
think a lot and you don't have to like be creative and whatever. So
Yeah.
it's like that is what I do then. So when I don't have the energy to do this creative stuff where I
Yeah.
really need to be at my best, then I do something different because at least this is done then.
Exactly. Do
Yeah.
what you can. But
Yeah.
I also do what you do, Martina, right? Like just start it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll do it for 5 minutes. I'll
Yeah.
just do it for 5 minutes, and then you end up just completing
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just
You
like
go.
don't sit down logic, right? You just
Yeah.
end up doing
Yeah.
it anyways. Or at least it's in a space that you can, like, sometimes when I want to edit a video or something and I'm not in the mood, all I say is like, okay, I'll transfer the videos over because that takes time, and I'll sequence them into how it needs to be. And as
Yeah.
you're listening through to sequence it, you already do what needs to be
Yeah.
done, so at least it's
I,
in the
I
way that it
understand.
needs to be.
I'll do the
Yeah.
preparations, then I extract the audio file, and then you do the captions and whatever you need, and then you are so into it that you are really done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely. Yeah, I agree.
Like,
So that also works for a lot of other things. But I feel like my main things that keep me off is the brain specific things. Like, I think action specific things I can still kind of force myself to do sometimes. Anything that really requires brain, and my brain is like, no, then I just can't do it. And my brain is often just no.
so this is maybe something about personality, right?
Yeah.
Just like what kind of is easier for you to get into doing
Yeah, I
something?
learned
Like
recently it's
more
also about
theoretical or
ADHD.
practical?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
fun.
Because actually, I think when I really don't have the energy, I prefer to do the theoretical part because I know I just have to think.
Yeah, so maybe
Kind of,
your
yeah.
default is thinking.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
easiest for
Right?
you?
Yeah.
You do what's easiest for you when
Exactly.
you don't have the energy. So that's for me.
What do I do? Nothing. Nothing is easiest.
Relaxing. Letting the brain
K-dramas and K-dramas.
I love just staring into the blank wilderness and stuff, right? Like, just blank wall also does. Just sit and stare for 5-6 minutes, and then my brain is doing what it needs to do because all the energy is going to the brain to figure out what needs to happen without me interrupting. And my
Yeah.
brain is suddenly becomes happy, and then things can happen.
But yeah, that's fine because then you
Yeah.
just get the space, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it creates the space.
Yeah. No, I read. When I think I have to do something, but I still feel like too exhausted to do anything, I just read because I know there's still those books I want to read. And so I'm just like, okay, at least you can sit on your couch and just read.
I like that. I think I prefer to just write or draw or like do art things. That's what I would do. If I'm not doing nothing, I will write poems, I will start coloring, if it's too much, I'll make a to-do list and then forget those things need to be done. Never really actually do the things in the list, just write them down somewhere, and then that paper has vanished for the next year till you actually come back to clean it, and you're like, oh, you never did anything. Yeah, that's fun. You guys make to-do lists, or is it all in your brain?
Sometimes.
No.
But
Sometimes.
it's like it's all in my brain. I sometimes make
Yeah.
to-do lists because it feels easier because then I don't have to think about it, but I actually would not need it because it's all in my
Yes,
brain.
it's in your brain, right? Yeah, same. It's
Yeah.
in my brain, and and sometimes I just put it into a list, just thinking I might can have a second brain, so I don't have to keep it in my brain, but still,
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the moment I write it down, it's even worse. Then it's definitely in my brain forever.
I like how Than's brain works. I think I would like 10% of that, please. And I would like 10% of Martina's discipline, please.
Yeah, I think that's really disciplined.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't need too much. I just need 10%. Half my life's problem will be solved by your brain 10% and Martina's discipline 10%. I'll just take. I'm not giving you guys anything.
Maybe the spontaneous part.
Oh yeah, you can take that. I have too much.
This relaxation, relax before you do the work to be totally relaxed and totally cool with it, although you know you have lots of things to do.
I think that really comes from the fact that now it's now that I'm at that stage. I wasn't there like 5-6 years or maybe 10 years ago. I wasn't there. Started that process about 7 years ago because you really, once you've overcome that helplessness and moved into the surrender, like no matter what you do, what has to happen will happen. Eventually, you just reach there and you've overcome those things about what will people think, what will you do, and you're just motivated by yourself a little bit. Then it really helps. But when I have to prove something to people, or when I know people are watching me, which is generally at work, then I'm completely different person. But when I'm doing things for myself for the way that I want it to be, I'm so much more relaxed, and the products are so much
Yeah.
better as well. Like
Yeah.
even if you look at my YouTube videos, you can realize which mental state I was in. Literally, you can see it's very visible from those videos how I just approached it from something completely different. And it doesn't matter how quick or fast it was, like close to the posting date. It's more about what I was just before recording something. It's so obvious. It's very fun, and I just need everything to be fun.
Yeah, that's the best. So does any one of you has to add something to our topic?
Not right. So we're kind of done.
Yes.
Yeah. So then we hope you enjoyed the session with us today, and please share with us what you do to get inspired and motivated. And well, we are happy to see you next time, right? The three of
Yes.
us. And see you next time. I'm Tan.
I'm Kita.
And I'm Martina. Have an amazing time. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.